What's going on, guys? Patrick here from PatrickOnlineRealty.com, powered by eXp Realty, and today we're going to go over the pros and cons of living out in Kaneohe. So stick around to get all the details. See you on the other side. Okay guys, so maybe you are watching this video because you are in the process of either PCSing to Hawaii, Oahu specifically, and maybe you're going to be stationed in Kaneohe Bay or the Marine base, and you're looking at Kaneohe as a place to live. Or maybe you're just moving to Oahu and Kaneohe is something that you've heard about, and you really want to know what are the pros and cons of living in Kaneohe. So we're going to go over that in a pro-con formula, so let's just jump right into it. Pro number one. Mountain views and lush landscape. Now, Kaneohe is just right next to Kailua. It's closer to the mountain. So because it's closer to the mountain and the type of weather systems that we have is that the clouds start to accumulate right next to the mountain. So because of that, you start to see a little bit more rain, which brings more lushness. And if you live in the area, you get to enjoy the amazing views of not only Kaneohe Bay or Kaneohe Bay, but also the Ko'olau Mountains, which could be potentially right behind you depending on where you live in Kaneohe. So you get these amazing mountain views, and then because of that rain that comes through, you get this lush green landscape that surrounds you, and it's really beautiful. Con number one, more rain. So like I just mentioned, because you're closer to the mountain, you do get a little bit more rain in the Kaneohe area, which can be a pro or con depending on how you look on it. But let's look at it from a con standpoint. Because we're getting more rain, if you're living there, there are sometimes a little bit more challenges than in some of the drier parts of the island dealing with mildew and mold. But that is just something that comes with living in the jungle. So it's really just dependent on how you look at it, but something I definitely wanted to mention. Pro number two, convenience. Now, convenience comes in a couple different formulas. Number one is the convenience of the shopping. So in Kaneohe, you don't have to actually go anywhere if you don't want to. You have the Windward Mall, which has a bunch of different shopping in there. You have a couple different strip malls. You've got Foodland, Long, a couple of hardware stores. So you don't technically need to go to town if you need anything, unless of course you're looking for a big box store, Target, Costco, things of that nature. You may need to go to Kailua if you're going to look for Target, or if you're looking to do some massive shopping and go to Costco, you would have to drive up and over either the Likelike, Poly, or the H3. Now that leads me into my second part of the convenience aspect of Kaneohe is the ease of access to the freeways. Now you basically have three different highways that you can jump onto from Kaneohe reasonably easily. You have the Likelike, not like, but Likelike. You have the H3, and you have the Poly Highway. So any of these three will get you to town. Just depends on which direction you want to go and which one you want to use depending on traffic. So the convenience of shopping and access to the freeway is a big convenience of living in Kaneohe. Con number two, access to the beach. Now, Kaneohe is right next to Kaneohe Bay, which is absolutely gorgeous. And we'll go a little bit over what you can do in the bay. But when it comes to enjoying, a white sand beach and all of that, don't really get that unless you go a little bit north out of Kaneohe towards Laie and up towards the North Shore, or if you just drive over to Kailua, which is probably about 15-minute drive. So it's not that far to get yourselves to a beautiful, gorgeous beach, but right there in Kaneohe, all you really have is access to Kaneohe Bay, which is exactly that. It's a bay, harbor, not so much of a beach. So just something you want to keep in mind. Pro number three, outdoor activity. So like I mentioned in the last con, Kaneohe Bay is the main attraction in Kaneohe. You have this absolutely gorgeous bay, which if you have a boat or a kayak, which you can buy or rent, you can go out to what we call the sandbar. And at the sandbar, there's actually exactly that, a small kind of island that's more of just a sandbar. And you can hang out there. A lot of people take their boats or kayak out there. You can literally walk around in what seems like the middle of the ocean. You can see lots of sea life, sea turtles, sometimes hammerheads. And it's a cool, really great experience to stand in the middle of the ocean, look back at the mountains, and be surrounded by a bunch of other people who are enjoying themselves out in the water. So the sandbar is definitely something you're going to want to check out. Another thing is you're right by the mountains. There is a ton of different hiking, waterfall hikes, and things that you can enjoy and just have an adventure. So yeah, there's a ton of amazing and beautiful natural activities you can participate in outdoors in Kaneohe. Con number three, quality of home. Now, Kaneohe is very similar in the sense of Kailua, where you're really paying for the location. You're on the windward side, which is highly desirable. And a lot of the places out here were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, sometimes even older than that. So a lot of the construction that you'll see in Kaneohe will kind of fluctuate. You'll see some places that are newer, like someone tore it down and built it brand new up, but you'll see a lot of houses that will have that standard windward side original construction, which will have single walls. It will have single pane windows. You may have no AC, maybe just a window AC unit unless somebody installed the split AC. So it's just something you want to keep in mind, that you are paying for the location, so you don't get as much bang for your buck compared to, let's say, if you're looking in Ewa, Makakilo, or Kapolei. Pro number 4, less crowded and less touristy. Now, Kaneohe does have some tourism that comes through every once in a while, but most of the time when people are coming to the windward side, now a lot of the tourists just go to Kailua. So this can be a pro or con depending on how you're looking at it. I kind of see it as a pro because we do have a lot of tourism here. I'm not a big crowded kind of guy. So I really like the idea that Kaneohe does offer less tourism that comes through. So you have a little bit more of a local vibe and kind of enjoy the local community. Con number 4, no nightlife. So this is going to be the general con on pretty much any of these videos that I have, unless I'm talking about Waikiki. All of the nightlife in Oahu is all pretty much in Waikiki. There's a couple dive bars, karaoke bars, and things like that in Kaneohe. Some great restaurants, but at the end of the day, if you really want to hit the pavement hard and party, you're most likely going to have to go to Waikiki. The good thing is that the convenience of getting there, you got 3 different highways that you can take. Probably the quickest or easiest would be the Poly. That'll take you right into Waikiki. But yeah, con is no nightlife in Kaneohe. Con number 4, home prices. So like I mentioned, there is a high desire to live on the windward side, whether you're in Kailua, Kaneohe, but Kaneohe specifically, you do see a little bit of higher prices than what you would see once again on Ewa, Makakilo, Kapolei. There's a high desire to want to live there. So naturally, we will see that there's been prices going up consistently across the island, but specifically in Kaneohe. And what I've started to notice is that certain people who want to get that windward vibe, but maybe are getting priced out of Kailua, are starting to shift their gears and start focusing on Kaneohe. So we're starting to see the prices continue to go up. Another thing to keep in mind is there is a handful of different townhomes and condos in Kaneohe, but those HOAs for some reason tend to be a bit higher than if you were looking in Waikiki. If you're looking in the Waikiki area, HOAs usually fluctuate between $550 to $650, give or take. And naturally in Kailua and Kaneohe on the windward side, the average is usually between about $650 and $850. So something you want to keep in mind when you are looking specifically for a condo or townhome on the windward side. Now let's talk about home prices out here in Kaneohe. If you are looking to purchase a single family home in Kaneohe, the prices have gone up 30% in the last year. They went from $1 million up to $1.3 million for a single family home out in Kaneohe. Now, if you're looking to purchase a condo or townhouse in Kaneohe, you can expect to pay about $712,000. That is the median. You can find things for less and you can definitely find things for more than that, but that's the median sales price for condos or townhomes out in Kaneohe. All right, guys, well, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. If you guys could do me a huge favor, I really appreciate it. If you could smash that like button, click subscribe and the notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop videos just like this, as well as if you're interested in knowing more about Kaneohe or any part of the island, I am a licensed realtor, shameless plug. So feel free to reach out to me. You can DM me on any of my social media platforms, or I've got my contact information right here and also in the description below. So feel free to call, text, or email me. You got boots on the ground. I'm here to help in any way. Anyways, guys, I'm Patrick with PatrickRealty.com, powered by eXp Realty. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.